Hello, everybody. I am bloody and alone in Appalachia, and unfortunately, there's no one here to save me. This is a solo horror role playing game. So, yes, I'm taking a look at another solo RPG, and it's very neat. I like this cover a lot. If you want to pick up this game, drop the RPG for the PDF. Print, I'm going to send you to Bloat Games and that website where you can get it in print and PDF. And so check that out down in the description. I like how it says there's no one here to save you on the spine. It just makes it kind of stand out a little bit different. But yeah, it says it's a solo tabletop RPG about rural horror set in the Appalachian hills of eastern Kentucky. You play a lost city dweller, so I'm a city dweller. I have foolishly ventured off the Appalachian Highway to a small backwoods town called Bloodworth Hollow, where nothing is as it seems. This game has 13 individual monsters for endless replayability, it says. All you need is 6-sided dice, 2 packs of playing cards, and a tumbling block tower, a Jenga tower, and of course your imagination. We're just going to use this one right here for now. Let's go through it here. So, it's got great art, it's got great font. It's writing and system adaptations by C.M. Lowry. Done a great job. And Bloody Appalachia was a game by Bloat Games. And this is, in essence, the solo version of that. And so that's how that kind of makes sense. This was a successful Kickstarter. And here we go. So we've got forward, playing the game, all the 13 monsters, and then some helpful stuff here at the end. A bunch of tables and example of play in the appendices to help you understand how the game is played. And then an index. So this kind of reiterates here in the forward who you're playing, and it talks a lot about how when you're alone in a horror movie, it's the realization that everyone else is gone. There's just one remaining hero, and they know their goose is hopelessly cooked. So your heart's pounding, and something's trying to hunt you down, and that's what this game is really all about. There's some stuff here about safety. And of course, it's a solo role-playing game, so pretty easy section for you to understand there. Great art. I really like the art that's in this book. And so it says, this is a game about human resilience in the face of overwhelming odds and almost certain death. So you play a loner trapped in a town where no one is your friend. Worse than that, you've gained a powerful and terrible enemy. They will not rest until your blood is shed. So this kind of starts you off right here. What happened to you? The detour took you to Bloodworth Hollow. You wound up in Hooper's General Store and Gas. There's a grim-faced man in grubby overalls stared you down. You ain't from these parts. You're looking back. You say, hey, I'm looking for directions back to the highway. He glares at you. He says nothing. Hey, sorry to intrude. I'm just trying to leave town. And you hear something behind you. And then all of a sudden, something hits you on the back of the head. You fall to the floor. And the overall-clad man walks up to you and says, you ain't never leaving. And then the blackness took you. So then it's going to tell you here how you're going to use the Jenga tower. That's going to be pretty much your life. And so if it falls, something has your heart has stopped and you have died. There is a way here they tell you about how you can do a different alternatives if you don't have a Jenga tower. And then it talks about the wound deck, and this is the event deck. So I don't really need the wound deck for this little video here. And then they talk about how there's a way for you to record your game. Maybe a shaky direct-to-camera hand cam footage is ideal, but you might want to use an old-school tape recorder, a blood-soaked journal, a stream of consciousness, social media feed, or any option that seems fun to you. So you've got to fix the broken shortwave radio you've discovered, send out an SOS signal, and hope you survive long enough for rescuers to find you. And here's your setup here, telling you about how you're gonna do the block, you're gonna roll the die, and you're gonna go ahead and take out that many blocks out from the Jenga tower, and you'll shuffle the 2 decks, and you'll record your first video log, reading or adapting the script right here, and then you're on your way. So he says, I'm stuck out here in some small hick town, Bloodworth Hollow, but something's not right here. I just woke up in a barn, my wallet's gone, someone hit me, and now I'm stuck in the middle of nowhere. So you're in this barn, and that's where you're going to start your day. And your day is right here. It's in 2 phases. You've got the tasks and the log. So you're going to roll the die every day, and that wasn't a good one. And we're going to do a 2, and that's going to be 2 cards from the event deck. You're going to turn over the first card you drew, and you're going to consult what's called the tourist guide. The guide asks you to do a specific thing. You do it. Continue turning over cards and consulting the tourist guide until your tasks are complete. When you've completed all of them, you discard the cards you have used until you're told otherwise. And then in Phase 2, the log. Take a moment to consider the events of the day, keeping in mind what you have learned about the town, the actions of the monster, and how you are feeling. Then record your video log for the day. And I do like the whole aspect of like doing a video log for it. Should be pretty neat. It says it usually takes about half an hour. And then we've got the tourist guide. So we've got hearts, diamonds, clubs, and spades. Hearts are going to represent things that are close to you, events and transpiring that need your immediate response or shake you emotionally. When you draw a heart, your physical self may be in immediate danger, but more likely your soul has become even more burdened. Diamonds are going to represent your physical surroundings. Clubs are going to represent people in Bloodworth Hollow. And then spades are going to be the monster. The first time that a spade is drawn or a location is mentioned on an event, look up the number on the triggering card on the table on page 28. This will tell you which of Bloodworth Hollow's many evil horrors will be stalking you throughout the game. All spade cards refer to events on the monster's table. So here's that first thing here with hearts is going to be stuff that's personal. And some of those will say like pull from the tower once you read it. And here's the stuff for the physical. And here's the people. I really like, I don't know, I just dig the font, the way it looks. I like the red, black, and white. It looks good. And then these are the different types of monsters that are going to be hunting you down. So like the first, we've got the Butcher. Going to tell you more about him. He's got two different locations, Hooper's General Store and Gas and the Woods. And there's a little bit of insight into more about the Butcher. And then he's got his own entries right here. Of course, a lot of them are going to be pulled from the tower. So if you get like a 7 of spades, a familiar voice sounds familiar but not friendly. Who is outside and what do they do to you? You pull from the tower. So we've got Bigfoot. We've got Children of the Corn. Again, fantastic art from Christopher Torres. We've got Dirty Hoof, which is very interesting. Devilish Cryptid. We have fairies. I love this piece of art. These mugs are going crazy. It almost looks like they got mohawks, which I dig. I think they do. We've got Iris Lynch, very cool, kind of gives me a little bit of Freddy Krueger vibes. We've got Jack the Scarecrow. Again, this guy's really had a bad day. He's going to need to get some staples or something to put that back on. So that's detrimental to him. Piggy Lee, of course, from the cover. Very good piece of art there. I really dig that. You see all his entries there. Reggie the Mad Miner. He's very mad, but he likes to mine. Here's the Sheriff. You got your Texas Chainsaw Massacre action going on right there. Las Bandidas, very interesting, different, not exactly what I was expecting, but cool. We've got the Ruby Mine Cooperative. This is a werewolf cult, which that's cool. And we have the Wild Wrestler, which I definitely didn't see that one coming. But this is going to be the most important sections right here, right off the bat, for you. And I almost thought about just reading this to you immediately, but you wouldn't really have any really concept of what's going on. But the example of play, hey, look, 3 of diamonds. Look, I set that up just right. Desperate for rest, you climb into a storage silo. So that's what's going to happen. The fumes of leftover silage leave you befuddled and wandering. So why would my character climb in a storage silo? Why would they be that desperate already? I roll a few times on the next 2 page tables for ideas. I get things 6-6 and 6-3 and motives 6-1 and 1-4. So these next 2 pages are very important, and I do kind of wish that they were here on the end pages. I don't know exactly what it entails to put stuff on end pages of a book, but I just think it would have been a little bit more helpful for it to be here. So these are very important. And while this is not a full Oracle solo RPG game, this is definitely the stuff that's going to help you kind of fill in those sections of why and how is this happening. So the things gives me a creature. So we've got 6-6. 6, and then it gives the 6. Compare number of the last card discarded with table on page 28. So it kind of refers back to that one. So my most recent card was a 3. On page 29, that tells me I'm facing the Ruby Mine Cooperative, a werewolf cult. Cool. The second roll, 6-3, is another creature. See, because you've got 6-3, which would have been a scorpion. And it says, nah, I don't want that. So I flip the numbers around, 3 and 6. So we go here, 3 and 6. It's going to be the barman. And so it says person, barman. The motives roll gives me pain, adrenaline, overruled. So we've got that right here with 6 and 1. And fight, duck. And it says, I sip my coffee for a moment, then inspiration comes. And this tells you how you're going to use those rolls here to kind of flesh out the narrative here, to flesh out the story a little bit. And I dig that. I think it's really cool. I think you could use another, like the Mythic solo role-playing game book to help you along with this, but you could definitely do it with these tables here. They definitely give you a lot of the stuff. Like I was messing around with it and I rolled up woods and freezing. So it just gives you a lot of cool stuff that you can then look at and think about. And then you're going to be pulling these cards and finding out exactly what's going to happen. So if we did, let's say we did that one, let's go ahead and look at this, which is the 2 of spades. And we've got, so that's 2 of spades. We'll say we haven't gotten our bad guy yet. So that is a spade, which is going to be a monster. Look up the number and the triggering card on the table on 28. So we're going to go here, and we got the Wild Wrestler. So that's when we're going to go here. He's at the last one. And now, whenever I draw spade cards, it's going to be whatever he's going to be doing. So why are you, like if we do a 9, why are you in this treehouse, his treehouse? What good can come of this? Even worse, who is it that is climbing up the ladder? You're going to pull from the tower. And so anytime you need to question stuff, you're going to go to these things here, the things in the motives tables. And that's how you're going to kind of flesh out that thing right there. So it may be a little bit difficult for you to get used to if you're not used to solo role-playing games. I'm definitely not. But if you are, this has got a lot of the stuff you need to get you going. Here's a map here of the area. That's pretty cool to know exactly where some stuff is, like the bar is there. Then you've got that wound table, so that other deck of cards. We've got the king. We've got the king of clubs. So what we've got is a fractured lumbar vertebrae, cannot walk. So that's going to be detrimental to you, obviously. So when you pull from the tower, also draw a card from the wound deck, then shuffle it back into the deck. If you ever draw a repeated injury, pull an extra piece to represent that wound reopening and the new torrents of blood pouring forth. And you may have to roll a d6 to specify certain locations. So that's really it. Again, strong art from Christopher Torres. He's great when it comes to horror. I really dig that a lot. Some cool monsters with their own little entries, things that you're going to try to kind of figure out exactly what they are and why and how they're happening with you with these things table. Things and motives tables here. Got a lot of stuff. It seems fairly easy, but there's a lot that you can work with here, like through the different emotions and what level they are. Roll below for current emotional level. So it could be like rising terror or rising hope. But definitely read this, the playing tips and the example of play, just to understand exactly how it is that you're going to play this game. I think it's neat. I think it's really cool. Again, I'm starting to get more and more interested in solo RPGs, and this is just another tool should I want to try to kill myself by one of these terrible monsters. So again, just looks great, good quality, and I really dig what's going on in this thing. So there it is. It's the Bloody and Alone in Appalachia, and there is no one here to save you. Thanks a lot.